All right, we got another vid here. We went to a bar, and it's Monday night in America, so you know what that means. That means football, especially this time of year. And we were watching it, and it was interesting. I just sports ball. We despise sports ball, don't we all? So because it's I watched NFL stuff, but it wasn't like the biggest thing that I watched. But could it be enjoyable watching a game? So the game was on. It was interesting because I don't watch TV. And at the bar, Mr. LaFond made some interesting observations. As someone who I don't think was a big football fan, but watched it and had family members who actually played football and in different capacities, like I think college teams or whatever. So anyway, well, it was interesting what you were going over the changes you've seen in football and what's been pushed. So this is let's talk about what we were talking about at the bar, like what you were saying.
Did I not make a prophecy at the beginning of the game that came true?
Yes, you did. Yes, you
I
did.
did. I prophesied
And be careful how you phrase it, please.
I
Thank you.
prophesied that a member of an oppressed group of people who are the only people that have ever been
Marginalized.
enslaved in the history
That's
of
right.
humanity. At some point, we were going to get to see one of these people with elongated ankle tendons get a tendon injury and be carried off the field, and it happened.
And is that right?
You get to see that every single time.
That
we watch an
happened.
NFL
Yeah,
game.
that definitely happened.
So there's, as a coach, I do know that some groups of people might excel in different things, but they'll also have propensity for injuries.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Pro and a con.
right. So I'm fortunate that I was validated in that observation. It's a social study. I played Little League football. Spent most of my time standing on the sidelines for 1 year. Okay, and I played football in middle school and high school. Last year in middle school, first year of high school. Quit both times because I just hated the coaches. Okay, I think the second time I threatened to hit the coach or something like that. It was, the only reason why I agreed to play football was it was a chance to hit people.
Right.
And they were getting mad because I was hitting people really hard, and they were on my team.
Right.
It was scrimmage. Right. So I was a retard. I was actually too stupid to play football because I couldn't memorize the plays.
Right.
So they've gotten around all that now. As long as you these guys now have earphones in their helmets, and the guys in the booths just tell them what to do. They're literally robots.
I didn't even think of that, and I thought about it. I said, yeah, that's exactly what they do.
This was predicted in around 2016, 2015, 16, in Frito-Lay and Pepsi advertisements in the supermarkets I worked in, where they actually had pictures of robot football players. And if you look at Fox Network's N.F.L. broadcast, they have the robot cartoon football players on there as they're like, we're going to a commercial break.
Right.
We're coming right back kind of thing. So it's been heading there for a long time. The traditional American athletic pastime was baseball. That was from the 19th century, from the 1800s. It was an agrarian sport that had no time limit. It was about actions in season.
Right.
And it wasn't supposed to be hurried up.
Yeah. Like 30 games.
American football was a metaphor for industrialization, and the football player is just a pawn that's put out there. He does have a captain. The captain traditionally made decisions. That quarterback was the team captain. He made decisions. He led the team. That's gone away. That's actually been done away with on purpose, and part of it is to support the biggest advertising. NFL did a complete 360 in a lot of ways in 2020. They got rid of all their traditional advertisers, and they took as their main advertiser the U.S. military.
That's
and
right.
associated supporting agencies like healthcare for veterans and things like that. And I don't know if they took a bath or not. Then they brought in a new group of advertisers, which was gambling. Now it's now real-time
Sports
gambling,
betting,
and
yeah.
it's really focused on fantasy football. And now you have video shots and even brief bios of the men. There'll be up to 14 men with headsets on in the booth for
Right.
each team
Yeah.
that are telling the coaches what to tell the players when they're off the field. Football is highly specialized. In baseball, a man can play offense and defense, like a boxer
Right.
can
Yeah.
punch and he
Right.
can block.
Right.
A football player can't do that.
No,
A
no.
football player cannot. It's like if you had a boxing match and I threw a punch, okay, and I was punching you and you weren't allowed to punch
Yeah,
back.
yeah, yeah.
And then the next round, we switch.
Yeah, you're all open to get
it's
to
just
get
crazy.
hit. Yeah.
Okay, and it's heavily regimented. It's based on time. The seconds are very important. It goes very well with advertising
Oh, yeah.
because of the time strictures, and the baseball has tried to keep up with it by implementing some timing strictures of their own. But the thing that's very interesting to me is that the coaching staffs have, even on the sidelines, have been superseded by the booth staff. And
Right.
you don't even know these guys' names, but those guys represent the new main advertising revenue, which is a fantasy football player, because he identifies with them. In the 1980s, football was rebranded to appeal to women. They changed the rules to appeal to women, and women could not get into the running game.
Right.
Okay, they could get into the passing game because women don't mechanically follow things as well as men do
Right.
visually. So the passing is more obvious and it appeals to women.
Right.
And it favors taller, less heavily built men,
Right.
which, that tends to appeal to women too. Okay, certain type of women like stocky guys or big beefy guys, but the intelligent, graceful, tall, athletic man is kind of like the female
Right.
attraction standard across all these races and cultures and everything. That got topped out about, they topped that out about 2013. About 2013, they couldn't get any more female viewers, and they had to try to culturally diversify. And that didn't get them any more viewers. Now they're going overseas.
Yeah, they're going to London and Ireland.
Right, to keep growing. It's a company, so it's got to keep growing or
Or
die.
die, right.
So they've gone into advertising to increase their ad revenue. So now their advertising is actually based on real addiction.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, not just mesmerism. It's mesmerism that's based on real addiction. So this is ideal. So you don't have to sell beer anymore. You're selling another habit, gambling. So in baseball right now, I actually enjoy watching baseball because the athletes, I like looking at the way the athletes would type for combatants.
Yeah.
Okay, and if we've got a modern Achilles out there, he's a baseball player. He's not in one of these other sports. It's the eye activity, is a fighter's eye activity. They have a wider range of skills. The eye-hand coordination on baseball players is ridiculous, off the chart. I would, if I was king, I would keep the N.F.L. and Major League Baseball, but just as pools of combatants. And I would have baseball teams fight football teams. And the football teams could keep their armor, and the baseball players would get their bats and their balls.
Right.
Okay, I think it'd be a pretty good fight.
Well,
Okay?
if I was king, the guys doing in charge of the sports betting would be thrown out of the country.
Okay.
Oh.
So in baseball, they've gone one better. They are also addicted to that, to the advertising revenue, and they have shored up and even increased their advertising revenue by adopting gambling. They also
Right.
did this during the vid.
Yeah.
They did it the same way. The NFL actually, their stadiums are now polling places. As of 2022, you can go to an NFL stadium and vote. Now, and military support of the NFL has really gone through the roof. We saw the National Guard helicopters flying over that one game today. So in baseball, you don't have fantasy baseball that's giving you a lot of revenue. So what you do is you allow viewers at home to bet on the game. And I've watched a game in Baltimore with my mother where this guy hits a home run and the announcer says, "Congratulations, Betty so-and-so from Highlandtown, Chris Davis has hit a home run," and it wasn't Chris Davis, it was some other guy, and you get $700 because it happened in the 7th inning or something like that. It's like a science fiction thing. Okay, so these social templates, like the Circus Maximus and the arena in Rome, are very important, and I find it very interesting to see how things track and the way rules are changed to favor different social models that are really metaphors that are being
I'm going to
pumped
jump
out
in,
there.
and I'm going to be frank with you,
Yeah.
okay? Or maybe not as frank as I should be, but they always, for years, were pushing a quarterback to be of a certain
Yes.
okay, they've been pushing that. All you Eagles fans know what I'm talking about.
Right.
Okay, and it's interesting how the late Mr. Limbaugh mentioned that they want a quarterback of a certain disposition. Like, if they would destroy the whole league if they could get ones to do that.
Well, it was not traditionally a running position. A running quarterback is a crippled quarterback.
Right, exactly.
Okay, but there was the best quarterback in NFL history was Tom Brady.
Tom
Most
Brady.
NFL fans couldn't stand him. Okay, women liked him. Okay, so the NFL decided to back Tom Brady because women liked him because he's a passing guy, he's an intelligent guy, a good-looking guy. He had his own rule set. You could not hit Tom Brady hard. You couldn't hurt him. You couldn't tackle him, or you would be called on a foul that wouldn't be called if you tackled a quarterback from another team.
Right.
He was the flagship quarterback. Now, 2 years ago, after he played his last season, after the NFL stadiums are all polling places, he supposedly writes a speech that is given by the voice of God, Morgan Freeman. Okay? And the videos that accompany him show people of Morgan's group that are like 10, 12, 11, 13-year-old kids that are playing Little League football, being told by Tom Brady that they are the quarterback of the future. The year after that, NFL quarterbacks of African-American origin.
Whoa, we didn't say that.
Okay. Didn't just double, didn't just triple.
Oh, no, man.
Didn't just quadruple. Okay. It just became
It's like the whole league.
everybody. And they actually restructured entire teams around this. And it was a way to make sure that the tradition of the Aryan quarterback throwing to the Bantu wide receiver, okay, that was equul time. You know, both guys were getting credit for scoring.
Yeah, their specialties are being
like saying it.
Right.
Okay.
Fulfilling their
They wanted
specialties
to make
help
it all,
together.
ebony and ebony, no ivory and ebony.
Nah.
Okay. But what ended up happening? The longer tendons and less cold tolerance of people from certain groups makes them highly prone to injuries. I've experienced this with training fighters.
Right.
Okay. First guy I put in the ring, he playing basketball, he pulls his shoulder. Now I got a one-arm fighter. Okay. So it wasn't working. Some teams were having disastrous consequences, except for the teams that had quarterbacks that were predominantly Irish. You know, that had like 80% of their DNA was Irish and 20% of it was Bantu. They were doing fine. Those guys could run and gun, okay? But most of your standard dudes, could just run. And the passing was supposed to be done on the run, but this was problematical, even with the Brady rule in effect for everybody that didn't look like him. So what ended up happening became a lot of fun for me. Is you have a tight end. This is the biggest guy that's an eligible receiver or a ball runner. He's usually 6.5 feet tall because the ball is being thrown over 6.5 feet tall guys.
People's height, yeah.
He goes out a little ways, he catches the ball. He wasn't a big scoring opportunity in the past because he didn't get you a touchdown.
Right.
Well, they beefed those guys up. Those guys put on 30, 40 pounds. Now they were like pro wrestlers that could play basketball. So now what you get to see is that run and gun quarterback, okay, he's not Terry Bradshaw. He can't throw it 60 yards. So he throws it to this dude that looks like a Viking. And then this dude turns around and runs over these three little black dudes.
Oh, no.
In the backfield. So by virtue of the fact that the sport is still a combat sport, even though it's highly regimented and in a lot of ways soul-crushing, it's redemptive because you still get these real combat situations. So my Uncle Fred played for University of Maryland. He in the 1950s in a game against Texas A&M, he intentionally broke the leg of a large African American fellow, broke the big bone, the thigh.
Nice.
They became good friends. That guy went on to become a pro or something. My Uncle Fred ended up being the head coach at Calvert Hall High School, a private parochial school in Baltimore City. Then the head coach at Virginia Military Institute, and then the defensive coordinator for Army.
Okay.
And then from there, he went into selling coal mining equipment. He's currently living in Illinois. And I'm told he's doing okay. So he educated me a lot on football. He told me, he said, Jimmy, it's a shame you weren't big enough to play football. You wouldn't have been a great player, but you would have been a good coach because I like the way you think. So I enjoy, with him on my shoulder, I enjoy watching the games, and it's a great social study.
All right.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I'd rather see rollerball, but
all I can say, I don't know, is the back in the day, guys knew you were gonna get hurt.
It's also it's an empire. Those owners, most of them are billionaires. Okay, so you look at a real empire,
they're also anyway.
It's showing you. I bet you'll find out that they are more than one race and more than one religion. 34 billion. Okay. I don't know who they are, but I know how much money they have.
Well, I know you.
I know they're not just from one group.
I know you don't get per capita either. So, all right.
So when you look at the NFL, you're looking at an empire in decline.
Oh yeah.
Because the amount of people talking about it, as opposed to doing it, over the past 5 years, has tripled. Okay, like being paid to talk about it on screen while the game's going on, before the game's going on, after the game's going on. That's a situation in decline. The number of people coaching on the sidelines have increased compared to the players. The number of people that are coaching from behind the curtain, like Oz, has increased. So it's showing all the symptoms of the greater society that it's the puppet show for. So you could watch an NFL game without even having the sound on, and you can kind of figure out what the news is going to look like next month or next spring. Just by watching an NFL game every once in a while.
All right.
Okay.
I say deport the sports betting guys and the owners. It's just
just the stuff that gets wheeled out and pushed.
Listen, I don't care. Like, I'm post all that. Let them do whatever they want. So enjoy, do all your sports shit. I don't give a fuck. May you all may you all just be remembered for nothing. So, yeah. Seriously.
Well, a rugby team, I like watching rugby. I've now trained with a rugby player. A 14-man rugby squad, I think would probably be able to take on the 22 men on offense and defense on a football squad.
I totally believe that. I totally believe that. So I definitely
the initial
believe that.
clash might look ugly for the rugby guys, But like 30 seconds in, all the football players are going to be out of gas.
Yeah, exactly.
And just laying there, and the rugby guys are going to be.
Not to mention, traditionally, the rugby guys were going to be the officers in the British Empire, right? Whereas the soccer was for the working class people, and it's the opposite in America, where all the bougies are with the soccer, and the rugby guys you see, they're definitely not upper class people.
Well, the officer in the black powder era had to be highly aggressive and assertive, and his soldiers, none of them wanted to be there. They were slaves. They were pressed.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So he just had to be fit. But again, soccer could be improved if it was played with an enemy skull. Okay. I think it should just be rollerball, combat sports, and Mayan football.
Right.
Where you're trying to get the,
How about the heads of the people that own the sports buddies? All right, I'm just kidding. All right, enough. This thing, it's another damn lecture. This guy won't shut up. All right,
I'm behind that.
I know.
Okay?
We're just joking, so we're just having fun. All right.
Or have one of them, like the owner of the team that lost the last time, have him parachuted in to the football stadium, and he is the football.
You see how quick they all start selling it off. All right. It's 21 damn bloody minutes, right?
He is the football. You see some big barbarian pick him up and throw him in another. That would be great, man.
Oh, man. All right, so there's your football talk. It's that time of year, so keeping it topical. Oh, God. Oh, you're eating your salt again, this fucking guy. All right.
Dude, it is. Okay, apparently it's not heterosexual salt.
The stud that's banging broads left and right. How are you not eating heterosexual salt?
It's pink. It's pink.
Yeah.
Have I been tricked?
No, because you're such a. Even if that was gay salt, you're such a stud that it would have no effect on you.
No.
So,
Just don't steal my Lucky Charms.
there we go. We were talking about the American way of let's serve marshmallows for breakfast. All right, we're getting off the tangent here. All right, go. Okay. Salud. Hey, come on.
Hey.
There you go. Hey.